Welcome to the Tech for Good Southwest podcast, brought to you by Annie, Alicia and Ariel. Here at Tech for Good Southwest, we're on a mission to build momentum for the Tech for Good movement here in Bristol, Bath and across the Southwest. We're going to be joined by charities, investors, startups and initiatives to share their stories, their challenges and their successes in driving Tech for Good.
Welcome to the Tech for Good Southwest podcast. I'm your host, Ariel Tai, and today I'm joined by Lucy Payne. Good morning, Lucy.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It is a Monday morning, but I'm feeling pretty good. How about you?
It's early, isn't it? Whose idea was this?
Sounded like a good idea when we planned it.
As it always does, as you were saying earlier, getting up bright and early always feels like a great idea until you have to do it. But no, it's good. This is good. It's fresh. We can't think too much this early in the day.
Yeah, that's true. So today, Lucy, we're going to be speaking about the Bath Digital Festival, which starts on the 10th of July, which is very exciting. But before that, it'd be really great to hear a bit more about you and your work.
That's a very broad question. So I'm a freelancer, which accidentally happened 4 years ago. I moved back to Bath, I grew up around here, and I moved back for a role that I was really excited about, which didn't quite work out for various reasons. And I threw my net out to all my people I know, and I ended up working for TechSpark, starting up Tech Swindon, which was the tech community for just Swindon at the time. It's now TechSpark Swindon and Wiltshire. I also, for 3 years, was doing social media for an adjustable tripod ladder company, as you do. Tripod ladders, who knew how much you needed them? But I've also since then worked for the University of West of England for an Innovation for Growth project and taken on TechSpark's Bath community, which is where it all started over 12 years ago, as well as doing some consultancy and work back in Brighton where I was for 10 years. I do lots of random things, but it's all about helping people, really. The key thing for me is, having spent 5 years at Sussex Innovation Centre, I love helping business owners on their journey. Just being a small part of that. I was doing power panels at NatWest last week, and I really love listening to people who run their own businesses and finding out why they do it and what they're doing, and being a little part of that journey and supporting them in whatever way they might need.
Sounds great. And what inspired you to get into your area of work? We were chatting a little bit about this before.
I mean, I think the word career is quite amusing, isn't it? I've just done lots of jobs, and I've taken left or right turns and done different things across the years, and it all came together at Sussex Innovation that actually I realised I've got quite a good playbook in terms of being able to help those businesses. But I'm also programmed slightly differently. Having done 5 years of managing 12 people, having 60, 70 live projects, I couldn't go back to a job that was like one thing at a time. And so I love having almost too much to do, having almost too much buzzing around my head. It feels like a form of masochism, but it really gives me that buzz in the morning that I have that variety.
So I know you do a lot around the region, around bringing together the tech community and sort of building these collaborative networks. Can you tell us a little bit about some of these projects you've worked on to give us a flavour of what all of this means?
Yeah, this is one of the key questions, is like, what does TechSpark do? And as you're right, it glues everyone together and it amplifies. There are loads of people doing amazing things everywhere. And the problem is with busy founders is getting them to come out and talk about it. So when I started with Tech Swindon 4 years ago, it's like, is there actually a tech community in Swindon, Wiltshire? Yeah, there's loads, but you don't know about it. And it's the same in Bath. There's loads of wonderful little creative agencies, little tech startups, but they don't come out and engage because they don't think traditional networking communities are quite right for them. So one of my key challenges is getting them to come out and tell us about the really cool stuff they're building, the apps they're creating, the platforms. We'll get onto the festival in a minute, but that's a great platform for it. So the projects that I work on, we have events like Third Thursday, Swindon Wiltshire Founders. We've also worked on a project called Tech for Growth, which connected those organisations who really needed help with technology, which started in 2020 when a lot of companies just didn't know what to do with social media and websites, with our community. So we've been a lovely sort of middleman supporting those asks into our community. You can then work with businesses who normally wouldn't have been able to afford them. It's being funded by the West of England Combined Authority. And so my role is basically to go out there and be curious and find out who's doing what and where and grab their information and share it. TechSpark gets a huge number of visitors, like 52,000 unique visitors to the website every month. Our reach is huge, and we're a not-for-profit. and we're funded by lots of people sponsoring and supporting us in different ways through projects or direct sponsorship. So we have the ability to be very neutral in our engagement and support of the community. And for me, it just feels ethically, I feel really empowered that we can help support and mentor these organisations without any agenda. And what we say to people is pay it forward, right at the very beginning when you've got no money, when you're a startup, when you're bootstrapping it, we'll do all we can to help you. And then when you get big and successful, don't forget how we helped you. Come on, be a part of the journey, which is what all the original founders of TechSpark Bath do. The Rocket Makers, the Storm, the Dialect, and all these guys are still all involved, and they're helping the next generations. It's pretty special.
It sounds special and so unique. Like, I'm not sure people realize, that sort of thing exists. And I think, working for Tech for Good Southwest, there really is a power in convening, isn't there? Just getting people together to talk. And sometimes that sort of work is underfunded because it's like an add-on, it's a nice to have. But actually, by building those connections, it can really strengthen work that's going on in all of these different organizations.
Just facilitating those conversations. As you say, it sounds so simple, just getting people together. TechSpark was formed when a group of founders wanted to get together and compare experiences, time, money, people, all the regular challenges of being a founder. It was just a dozen of them initially, and it's grown from there. So when you see Swindon Wiltshire founders and Third Thursday and Southwest founders, which we have in Swindon, you just see the magic happening, just people taking a couple of hours out, having a beer and a pizza, meeting some really interesting people. Then you'll hear later, oh yeah, we started on this project together, or I'll give them a shout out and suddenly they've got people engaging on their project. It feels like it's really simple, but as you say, it's not funded, because it's very difficult to put exact measurements on what the impact was. But we saw the impact of it not existing in lockdown. It wasn't the same on a screen. You couldn't build those strategic relationships. You could do transactional work, couldn't you, online? We all did it. But you couldn't really build the energy that you have. As I say, Third Thursday, we get 60, 70 people every month. It's great. And the energy is amazing.
Wow. And you're definitely out and about, aren't you? Because you are also on the steering group of Tech for Good Southwest, and I know you've been to a lot of those events and really supported Annie and that network as well. And the Bath Digital Festival, I think that's what we're going to get onto now. I mean, what an exciting thing that happens once a year. It'd be really great if you could tell us a bit about this year's Bath Digital Festival and what we can expect.
Oh my gosh, it's intense at the moment. We're at that few weeks away. There's so much to do, so much you could do, period of it. So, Bath Digital Festival, you're right, has been going for a few years. I think about 10, 11 years. And a lot of the original founders of Bath Spark have also been involved in the Bath Digital Festival. But this is the first year of TechSpark curating it. So we do Bristol Tech Festival every October, and Bath Digital Festival used to be very near to Bristol Tech Festival. We've completely split it away so it can have its own space to breathe. So it's in July rather than the autumn. And we've also put the Sparkies, which is our big awards party, in the middle of it, which will be 500 people at Parade Gardens. It will be very, very fun. Hopefully hot. That'd be good as well, wouldn't it? But trying to explain to people it's the opposite of a black tie do. It's a big party in a park with street stalls. But Bath Digital Festival, we're trying to be very careful with the brand. It's our first year looking after it, but also bring our own flavour to it. So it will be very different to previous years. It will be our community showcasing. We've got an emerging tech showcase on the Monday, because lots of people came to me and said, I've got a really cool thing. Can I do a half an hour slot and talk about my cool thing? And so there would have been like 20 or 30 little half an hour slots of people. And I thought, well, that's really, no one's going to go, with all due respect, because, it's difficult, isn't it, to find time to go to these sort of events. So we put them all together in the Monday morning, start with a bacon butty and go and explore and meet all these people who are doing amazing things. And we've got a similar version of that on the Wednesday, which is immersive tech. So basically on the Monday, emerging, if it's small, an app, a platform, it's going to be on the Monday morning. And if it's big and experiential, because we're taking over New at Work, so we have loads of space, it's going to be on the Wednesday morning. So I've been trying to glue, again, back to this sort of thing, glue themes together, glue ideas together. And we put the 5 themes of the day, all beginning with C, just to give people a bit of a hook, but it's very loose. We want to talk about everything, the collaboration, the critical thinking, climate, and climate being from your mind to the planet. Everything's very broad, but we have been working with people to really make their events strong and be very defined on the audience. Because it's like if an event isn't really clear who it's for, it ends up being for nobody. But we've had amazing support. So Set Squared have lent us Carpenter's House for the week, New at Works, which is an amazing space by the river. it only opened a few months ago, so it's got some big spaces which aren't rented just yet. They will be next year, but TCN have let us use them for free to just take over with these big immersive pieces and pop a caravan of innovation out the front, which is going to be totally random. But yeah, it's been really good fun. It is very intense, but almost there in terms of the schedule. But it's for everybody who's interested in tech or working in tech. We want people to come again, the word curious. Come and see what's going on. Come and learn what AI could do for you. Come and meet Google Garage. Come and see Dr. Nicola Millard from BT talking about the future of work. But everything's going to be very tangible. Not too many panels, not too many talking heads, more workshops, very engaging. It's going to be really intense as well. It's going to be a good week.
Wow, it sounds brilliant. And remind us of the dates again, and I suppose how people can actually find out more and book to come.
That's a good point. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's the 10th to the 14th of July, and it's all in Central Bath. We said to the universities, bring your content into the town. So everything's going to be a 10-15-minute walk. And basically, you can find it. We've just got some wonderful new pages up. So every single day has its own page, because we had this one scroller and it was getting too long. So if you go to the TechSpot website, or if you Google Bath Digital Festival, you will find all the schedule. And you book each individual event. It's all free. And each individual event has its own registration page. But I'll be really honest, if on the day you fancy coming, just come. We're not strict. We want the more the merrier. We've also going to have My World having a bit of space in the middle of town at 15 Bond Street, and Annie's going to have her hackathon there as well. So that's our one kind of in the town presence. But it's not specifically designed for tourists. So if a few kind of tech savvy, intrigued ones come along, that's all good. But we want our community to come along, and Annie has done a great job of putting a whole stream of tech for good conversations into the week, because we felt that wasn't specific to any one day. It's just a conversation that's essential to have across the whole week, and beyond, obviously, of course. But we wanted to, as you say, I love working with Annie, and I wanted to make sure that was really high profile for the whole festival.
Yeah, and so moving to the Tech for Good stuff at the festival that Tech for Good Southwest are leading on. It's starting the week. My understanding is the week is starting with a mapping session, mapping the digital divide. So asking those questions about what's actually happening now, what those challenges are, what do we already know about the problem, and what already exists. And then midweek, there'll be a hackathon where actually we can work together to try and address some of those challenges.
But again, having impact, not just talking about it. That's what I love. So yeah, on the Monday, it's like, let's lay out the challenge, and then let's address the challenge. And on the Monday, let's review it and reflect. So it's going to have momentum to it, which I think is really important, because we've all sat in meetings where you just feel that nothing's going to happen off the back of it, or sat in presentations where people just talk about the state of the world. So I loved Annie's idea of putting these pieces together so that I want this time next year to look at how we've moved forward. And it dovetails really well into all of the steering group conversations that we're on. Of, we don't want to sit there in a steering group every month and just talk about what we could do. We want to see what we have done and who we can involve. And I think this is for me, the festival is a really good platform to give this conversation another amplification, because I think people might not know how they could help or what Tech for Good means for them. And I think this is what we can do on these sessions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think so many different people working in tech are, interested in doing something for good, aren't they? So even if their organization isn't socially focused, so many people working in tech want to use their skills to put them to good use. And the digital divide is such an important and relevant topic right now. I think it's easy, particularly for people working in tech, to see the benefits of moving services online. There are huge positive developments happening in healthcare and education, etc. But actually, that divide is deepening. And so people who don't have access to technology, whether that's due to kit or connectivity or skills, they are losing access to these very basic and fundamental things that we need in life.
It's a massive domino effect, isn't it? I'm really excited about a product called Meshy, which is coming out this year, which is from Bath. And it just allows you, this is a very dummy's guide to it, it allows someone who lives in Bath to share their internet into the Meshy network to allow people who can't afford internet to access it. I'm not going to pretend to understand how that works from a technical perspective. It doesn't have any impact on me, but it's like a really simple way of me being able to make a difference to somebody without having to do a thing. It's like really lazy tech for good. But I think that's really important, because a lot of people feel if people don't know what they could do, they end up doing nothing quite often. It's overwhelming, like climate change, isn't it? I don't know where to start. It's like, well, just start doing recycling. Just start turning the light off, to the heating down. And Meshy, the fact I could go away on holiday and just give my internet 100% into that network to help somebody. And she said, you don't realise all the little nuances of the relationship we have with the internet. As you say, education, health. Lockdown really highlighted that, didn't it? All those kids who were supposed to be working from home. What happens if you can't? What happens if you've got one really old laptop that the whole family needs? The amount of poverty in Bath, again, is something that's not really spoken about enough. We focus on Romans and Jane Austen, but actually there's a real challenge, and House St John's are involved in this week as well, and obviously with the Tech for Good streamers. Like, again, what can we do with our community to help those people who need it most? That connecting, which is obviously what Tech for Good is all about.
Yeah, such a brilliant topic, and really looking forward to coming to the festival and talking about it, and see if through that hackathon we can actually come up with some ways of, some solutions, and actually things like you said, tangible things, actions that we can actually take. We have been talking now a bit about Tech for Good, and I'd be really interested to hear, Lucy, what Tech for Good means to you.
We've talked about this question, but I feel like it's a test that I'm going to get wrong. But I thought about this, and to me, it's all about using technology to make the world a better place, which is a massive sentence, isn't it? And that's why I liked Meshy, because it gives me a real kind of hook. But whether it's addressing the climate change, to say the digital divide, education, information. I'm old enough to have lived before the internet, before technology was really a major part of our lives, before mobile phones. And it can have such an amazing positive impact on all of us. There's the negative side to it as well. But it's how we can use technology to make everyone's lives better, in whatever flavour that might mean. It's exciting, but it's also vast, isn't it, as a topic?
Yes, it is, and I struggle with that question myself. But I think I moved to Bristol about 5 years ago, and I'm just so amazed by the amount of tech companies in this area. So across like Bristol and Bath, it's just mind blowing. And actually, the amount of the amount of Tech for Good work that's going on, and that so many of these companies, particularly like the startups, they do want to do things to help the environment, to help the planet, as well as they're running their businesses, whatever that aim is of that business. It just feels like there's so much more of a connection now between, actually wanting to run a business, have a great career, but also make sure that you're having, you're making some sort of positive impact. I don't know if you feel that with a lot of the tech companies that you work with.
Oh, absolutely. And as you say, they start like that from day one. That's how their business is going to run. And it's not, we had a big debate at Thursday the day about B Corps, and they're not all obsessed with that. It isn't all about box ticking. It's running a good business, isn't it? Looking after their people well, considering their environment, physical as a space, as well as, mental health wise. The founders, the new startups, are running businesses that are revolutionary compared to like the world of work when I started, when there was no consideration for what your business's impact was on any level other than bottom line. I know that feels very cliche, but it's true, isn't it? The world of work has changed so much, and what we want from our technology, and the discussion we want to have about the provenance of the items we're buying, or the carbon footprint of the organization we're working with. We as consumers care about that now, which we never did before, because we now have the power to find the data. We didn't know where our clothes were made. We didn't know. I mean, this is it. We talk about, there's a great thing about hybrid working. It's not going to save the world. There's still the carbon footprint of us working from home. But we are now asking all these questions, which we never could before. We just accepted that's the way it was. So yeah, I think it's so refreshing. It's so exciting to see these new founders. It's really hard for some of the old legacy organizations to go through this journey, though. They've got the massive offices and the old school way of working. It's really uncomfortable for them.
Yeah, it definitely it feels like, yeah, that things are hopefully changing in the right direction. Um, Before you go, is there anything, any sort of last plugs about the festival, or anything you want to share? Where do we want to point people to?
For anyone listening to this who has a tech business, a digital business, which basically that's a very broad sentence, isn't it? Get in touch. I want you to be a part of our community. I want your story. I want you to come along to our events. I want you to share your news, your updates, your stories, and just help be a part of the energy of our community. And definitely come along and have fun. 10th to 14th of July, grab one of those days, come and spend a day in Bath and meet loads of lovely people. That's one of the best thing about our community is that all the tech fans I'm sure the ones you've met as well, there's just a really great energy for getting together and collaborating. And as you said earlier, that's where the magic happens. Because most people actually want to help each other.
Mm.
And I just think most of us don't know quite how. And Tech for Good is a good route into that. But even as a founder, it can be really lonely. And getting together and being part of the TechSpark community and energy, I think we know it makes a massive difference to people. So get involved.
Oh, so exciting. And how can people get in touch with you, Lucy? Do they go onto the TechSpark website, or can they contact you directly?
TechSpark website, yeah, techspark.co. I'm just Lucy at techspark.co. They're very welcome to pop me an email. I'm on Twitter as well. Just get in touch. Send me your ideas, your thoughts, your plans. And I love ideas as well. I love that pre-start. I've got this really great idea. I love working through that.
Wow, so good to talk to you this morning. Such brilliant energy. I'm really looking forward to the festival. So thank you so much.
I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.